Hey there, and welcome back to this episode of Patch Chat. I am Dr. Kayla Abide, and I am Team Love and Light, and I wanted to bring to you today the top 5 most common questions that I get, that our team gets, so that you can have these answered. Those 5 questions are, first, how long should I be patching for? How long do I have to keep doing this, right? 2, how soon will I experience the results? How soon can I experience things changing in my body? Number 3, what if I don't feel anything? I haven't noticed anything yet. It's been a few days, it's been a couple weeks. When should I start to notice something? Number 4, how do I know things are changing? If I'm not experiencing something yet, how do I know? And last but not least, what if I stop patching? Do I have to do this forever? Is it something that I have to stick to forever and ever and I can't ever undo it? Here's your answers. Take a deep breath. Let's start off with number 1. How long should I patch for? LifeWave makes a recommendation that you should patch for 1 month for every decade you are old. So if you are 30, a minimum of 3 months. If you are 40, a minimum of 4 months. 50, a minimum of 5 months, and so on and so forth. I'm going to shift that aside and challenge you yet again. I challenge you to patch for at least a year. And you're probably thinking, Dr. Kayla, what in the world, a year? Think of something that you've done, that you've committed to for a year. You putting a commitment and setting an intention to do something for 1 year shifts the entire trajectory and not only gets you to the goals that you have, but it supersedes and excels you beyond that limited potential that you had a goal of and cracks open the doors for optimization. So let's break this down even further. If you've watched some of my other videos and you know the power and potential that the patches hold for you, why would you want to set a limit on experiencing what you don't even know is in store for you? And so I want to shift this a little bit. If you haven't watched the video about why symptoms come along when you start patching, I invite you to pause this video and go watch that one. That will shift the paradigm, your paradigm of health, to start thinking not just proactively, but biologically. Because what's most important here is not what you want your body to do, but what you don't know your body already has planned and in store and prioritized for your vital health and vitality and well-being over what your conscious mind is thinking of your humanly goals. So just as if you go to the gym and you want to lose weight and you set a goal that you want to lose 2 pounds a week for the next 6 months, and you're committed to 6 months, you have set a commitment and intention. And so I highly recommend, if you're going to start patching, be committed, because change only comes when we commit ourselves to things. And how easy is it to peel and stick something onto your body for a longer period of time that requires literal seconds a day? And then you can start making choices and putting in your environment other commitments and other consistent things like healthy diet, healthy movement and activity, going to the gym, picking up a hobby, better stress, better mental health and stability. You can start adding those into your health and vitality basket. But starting with a commitment to patching for at least a year is my challenge to you, because all those other things down the pipeline are going to become much easier as your body is able to optimize and activate and regenerate and rejuvenate and repair while you're simultaneously doing those other tools. Move into question number 2, and that is, how soon will I experience results or changes in my health and vitality? And it's a no-brainer. This is individual. This is individual and unique to the person who starts patching. Of course, there's always going to be miracle patchers, like we call them. They put on a patch and things drastically change, and their whole entire world lights up and things never are the same. And while that is my hope and intention for all of us, we have to be realistic. Some people put a patch on and they just notice within a couple of days that something feels different. Some individuals put the pain patches on, the LifeWave patch and the Eon, and they noticed immediate reduction in pain, and they noticed immediate reduction in inflammation. And those are all fantastic and great, reduced in symptoms. But we have to be understanding and realistic with what our body is facilitating and wanting to do in terms of our healing potential. So as you start to move through the days and the weeks of patching, you are building a consistent regimen of repair, of regeneration, and rejuvenation at the cellular level. And that is huge. So Rome wasn't built in a day. So we are not putting something on our body from the outside in. We are working something from the inside out. And so as your body starts to repair at the bottom level, at the very root and the very core of your existence, these things do take time. But that does not mean that you aren't going to experience outward expressions and optimizations, such as better skin, better energy, changes in your sleep patterns, in your circadian rhythm, in your digestion, in your recovery, in your energy, and in overall vitality. So I invite you to keep a journal, because everybody's journey is unique. And we all have health goals that we set intentions for. And while your goal, for example, may be to sleep for a full 12 hours, we may not get there in a full 2 weeks cadence. But what you may notice is you keep this log in this journal. By day 2, you wake up feeling more rested. By day 7, you may notice that you slept an extra hour. By day 14, you notice you're not snoozing your alarm anymore. And that means you're on the path. And so we should never just stop because we're not experiencing the results that we want to happen by tomorrow. Because nothing in life is going to come by tomorrow. We have to have time, consistency, efficiency, and effectiveness of waking up and being committed to something. So although you may be a miracle patcher, and I surely hope you will be, I've seen incredible changes within the first couple days to the first couple weeks, and insurmountably exponential changes within the first couple months of being committed and being consistent and sticking to what your goals are and optimizing yourself along the way. Let's move to question number 3, and that is, what if I don't notice anything? I love this one. This is my favorite. This is not the optimist viewpoint. This is much so the pessimist viewpoint, and I love to dive into this. So if we don't notice anything, my first question is, have you been looking? Because we're so caught up in our day-to-day stress and our day-to-day rigmarole that we often, and I'm guilty too, forget to stop and smell the roses. We often forget to stop and actually look at what has changed. I see this all the time in my private practice, right? Someone comes in and they are in debilitating pain. They can't do their activities of daily living. They can't work their job. They can't provide for their family. And everything is just so broken and upsetting and sad. And then all of a sudden they start to feel well, and they don't even notice that they're changing their cadence, that they are back to work, that they are less stressed, that they are optimizing things because they haven't even taken the moment to look. So this is why, like in question number 2, I highly recommend keeping a journal or a notebook or just jotting down notes in your phone, because it is shown in the research, which I'm going to show you, that we are changing. But change takes time and consistency and effectiveness. And so if we are constantly in our subconscious and our conscious thinking, telling ourselves that nothing is changing and life is stressful and we are not in control of our experience and our adaptability, you will keep getting more of the same. So I want to take a moment and just go over what it would look like for the first year that you made a commitment and what research shows happens when you start putting these patches on and stay committed for a year. Okay, so within the first few days of patching, we know that 4,000 genes are beginning to reset. That means within 24 hours, you have 3,000 to 4,000 genes beginning to reset to a younger, healthier state. Move forward to 4 weeks, we're just 1 month in. Within this 1 month, we have a whole new army activated. The new army that's activated is attracted first in your body to the most critical issues or the most critical points of healing that your body wants to repair, to regenerate, and to rejuvenate. And again, these may be things that are not on your health and vitality list, but they're a necessity in order to get to checking the boxes of your own conscious goals. So we may not actually feel changes in these things. These may be things such as internal organs or internal tissues or vital health and well-being impacts that we don't have quote unquote feeling for and are unable to notice. But if we stay consistent and we get to the first 6 weeks, we know within 6 weeks comes brain balancing. And as a chiropractor, this is my absolute favorite. Recent study has shown that after 6 weeks, the brain balance is more balanced, meaning that on brain mapping scans, the brain is actually responding better, more efficiently, more effectively. It's calm. It's not overreactive. And if it was overreactive, we see the brain leading to a regulation and a decrease and multiple expressions of reducing things such as enhancing memory, reducing depression, bringing more clarity and peace of mind, but also reducing anxiety, enhancing sleep, and so many other benefits. Now let's continue pushing this forward. Within 3 months of staying consistent with patching, we see that our collagen levels are increased. Collagen is so important for regeneration, rejuvenation, and repair, especially age reversing of the tissues in our body. So imagine within just 3 months sticking to something long enough that your body starts to become rejuvenated, regenerated, and vital in its expression of health. Within 6 months, this is one of my favorite studies, we know that the cardiovascular system also changes. And so we see a reduced heart rate. We see the cardiovascular portion of organ function we look at in this study shows that after 6 weeks of the cardiovascular system patching, it acted 8 weeks younger. So if you put that calculation together, doing the math, I'm going to lay it all out for you. For every day you wear the patch, your cardiovascular system acts a day and a third younger. I mean, why wouldn't we stay consistent with something like this? And if we aren't experiencing outward expressions of change yet, why wouldn't you even more impactfully stick with something? Because just like I talked about that new army, what if by 6 months in, maybe you haven't noticed some massive, miraculous shift and change yet, but your body's actually working silently behind the scenes to regenerate, to repair, and rejuvenate vital functions that you didn't even know had imbalances and needed to be worked on. And then, of course, within 12 months, we see regeneration being noticeable. Your body is regenerated cellularly every 7 years. So all the trillions of cells in your body turn over every 7 years. So what if you made a commitment to just 1 year of putting a simple sticker on your body? You would see and you would get to experience and now know what to expect, even if you don't, quote unquote, feel it just yet. So that answers question number 4 and question number 3 all in one full swoop. Question number 3 being, what if I don't feel anything? And question number 4 being, how do I know things are changing? Well, now you know, and you can't unknow, because I shared with you all the research and the behind the scenes that LifeWave gives us to help us understand what happens in our body when we might not even feel it. We know that things are changing. And last but not least is question number 5, which I get all the time. What happens if I stop, right? If you stop, you stay exactly where you're at because we are not putting anything into our body. And so we have to look at these individual experiences and know that individual experiences vary. So we know, again, everybody's patching experience is unique. Some may be miracle patchers. Some may notice outward felt things within weeks, within days, essentially. And others may take a month or 2 to experience these outward expressions. But we know from what I just went over, things are changing as long as we stay consistent. So depending on how long you've used the patches, depending on how long and where you're at in your vital health and vitality repair, every single individual is different. So when we've been using them and we have long-term built up benefits over time, we could see a difference in changes if we do stop patching. And remember my solar panel analogy, when we don't put a solar panel, we aren't getting that extra potential to tap into. And so what does your environment look like? If you stop patching, and you go back to your stressful rigmarole, not balancing your mental health, not balancing your emotional health, not, utilizing movement in your body, and not working towards reducing your stress and slowing down and following the patterns of nature and living biologically, well, you're going to have the environmental noise come back because you're no longer tapping into something. And so I get it. We all want to know how long we have to be committed to something. We want to know how long the changes are going to stay. But my question to you always goes back to the beginning. How long are you willing to be committed to something to see how long it takes to experience the changes that you didn't know you need and the ones that you also wanted? It's no different if you set a health goal for losing weight and you spend an entire year and you lose 100 pounds and then after that year you just stop going to the gym. You're not going to gain 100 pounds back in a day, but if you don't stay consistent with the cadence of the new protocol or the new regimen or the new day in and day out flow that you've created for yourselves, you will fall back into those patterns if you are not conscious of them. So to get the most out of LifeWave, consistency is key. Regular use, wearing them daily, having a protocol, having a system, being connected with the innate intelligence of your body, and allowing yourself to flow in the natural rhythms of health, creating a health paradigm and what that means to you and what your intentions and what your goals are for your health. And again, if you stop patching and you notice changes, that's an awareness. It's a communication for you to take back responsibility and radical self-awareness of your health and vitality and simply do what your body's asking you to do or showing you to show up as, so that you could continue to have these enhanced changes, optimum vitality, and experience more along your wellness journey. Thanks again so much for watching. I hope these answered all of your questions. If you have more questions, put them in the comments below. I'm more than happy to continue creating these frequently asked question videos from my subscribers, from all of my patchers on our team and beyond. And if you have stories that you'd love to share and share them on my YouTube channel, please send me an email at hello@drkaylaabide.love. And if you're new here, please click that subscribe button so that you can access more tips on self-guided healing, natural wellness, biological living, and of course, all things light, frequency, and energy. And I will see you next time.